Well, I want to roll a clip here from Senator Ben Sasse of Nebraska because the discourse on this has been picking up. It's become a little bit of I think, a false choice between getting Afghans out and getting Americans out. First of all, we don't even know how many Americans are still left scattered throughout the country. It's been incredibly hard for the government to track and the media to track. But Ben Sasse, this is his remarks on the withdrawal of Afghans here from the country.
First of all, a great nation is a nation that keeps its word. The American people need to understand who we're talking about here. We're talking about men and women who risked their lives to protect Americans. They fought hand in hand with our troops, and we made promises to them. There are 32 million Afghans. We're talking about 60 to 80,000 people. The administration has been way too slow to get people out of harm's way. They can get them to Kuwait, they can get them to Qatar, they can get them to Bahrain, they can get them to Ramstein in Germany and sort through the larger processing and bureaucratic issues there. But number three, when you fought on behalf of Americans to protect our people, you're welcome in my neighborhood.
So did we make promises to anybody?
We did. We set up this program because we recognized how dangerous it was for these interpreters, and we say interpreters colloquially, there are so many people, the risks that they took on to help American forces and to make our mission possible. You know, I was talking with one interpreter about the risks that he personally faced. He got a letter from the Taliban pinned to his front door saying that he would be killed as a result and as an example of what happens when you help the Americans. And he told me, he said, you know, I was the eyes and ears of the Americans. That makes me the arch enemy of the Taliban. He said, I'm the worst in their eyes.
Why do people in that position and throughout the occupation make the move to assist the U.S. occupational forces there? What do you understand to be some of the thought process and calculus for people on the ground?
I've talked to a number of people about this because it's kind of impossible to imagine risking your life so significantly for a country you've never even visited. But for a lot of them, it's just the American ideal, and they saw the freedoms and liberties that we as a country defend. And they wanted that for Afghanistan. It was a better future, and they wanted it to be a better future for their country. And I don't think many of them actually joined with the intention of leaving. I think they joined with the intention of helping their country and making a better country for their children.
I want to play the clip from J.D. Vance because he offered a response to Ben Sasse's remarks on Fox News. It's a little bit longer, but we'll sit here and listen to it because strong words from this guy running for Senate in Ohio.
I see that Senator Ben Sasse went on national TV yesterday and attacked me for suggesting we should focus on getting our own citizens out of Afghanistan rather than the Afghan refugees. And he said great countries honor their word. Of course, nobody disagrees with that. It's a ridiculous platitude. The question is not whether we honor our word. The question is, who have we made promises to? Who do we owe an obligation toward? And to any leader of this country, the obvious answer should be American citizens. So let's focus first on getting them out of Afghanistan before we say another word about the Afghan refugees. Now, Senator Sasse also said that he would welcome the Afghan refugees to his neighborhood with open arms. That's very sweet of him. I'm sure a lot of liberals will say very nice things about him because he said that. But the question is not whether we help the Afghan refugees. The question is, first, how do we do it? And second, how do we do it in a way that doesn't destroy our own sovereignty? So let's have an honest question about what exists in Afghanistan. According to Pew, 40% of the people there believe that blowing yourself up, committing a suicide bombing, is an acceptable way to solve a problem. So yes, let's help the Afghans who helped us, but let's ensure that we're properly vetting them so that we don't get a bunch of people who believe they should blow themselves up at a mall because somebody looked at their wife the wrong way. That is not real leadership. Real leadership is accepting the trade-offs of the situation, putting our own citizens first, and not dealing with fake platitudes because it gets people in the media to say nice things about you.
Wow, where to begin? So I already asked you about promises that we made. We set up this program to actually get people out of the country. That's the express reason why it exists. So therefore, you would think that that is somewhat of an actual promise. I think there is also, in some way, it is the spirit of the occupation of Afghanistan, which is in some ways the promise. The whole point of the occupation of Afghanistan after we decided it was no longer to catch Osama bin Laden was to build a democracy there, build a society that was fully functioning, and keep people safe. And we have failed in that mission. So I think what he's talking about is like, we literally signed a contract that we're going to get people out. Such contract doesn't exist.
You know, I take so much issue with so many things in J.D. Vance's little universe. I think it's important to note, though, that these people, and I tend to be very pro-immigration as a rule.
Sure.
But these people, this cohort of people, are so patriotic toward our nation. They speak English already by virtue of working with the American forces as interpreters in many cases, but administratively in non-interpreter jobs. And these are people who clearly believe in American values and the American project. I can't think of people who would be better equipped and more entrepreneurial in what they're able to do to bring here.